Hey Prescott Billiards, this is Bryan Wilson, your local pool nut. Penny Weiss and I are putting out a challenge to everybody to create matches that we can video and stream on Friday nights on Facebook Live. Put it right into Prescott Billiards. So I'll give you an example of the challenge. Nick Kline, I want to challenge you, a race to 15, diamond bar box at Bob's, 8-ball, for $150. If you're interested, message us back. Do something like that. Just really simple, really easy. Throw it out there, challenging somebody, see what we can get. We get a few matches, we'll get them streamed, try to get everybody involved. And you don't have to be a 600, you don't have to be a 500. Hell, you can be a 300 if you want to. Just make the race relevant to you. Find the right person that you'd like to challenge. Get it out there, see what you can get done. And Nick Kline, if you want that race, you have to respond via video. Take care, you guys. It's been a good day. Weather's getting better. Have fun. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey Brian, I'll play you. I'll get off work about 4:30, so I'll be there about 5. Sounds like fun.
They're starting their lag. Candy. Or I think she's trying to get by to go to the restaurant. Oh, okay. You're just watching. Okay. It is picking up the background noise, so big. Oh, so who won? Nick? You did? I think you can do like a watch party.
It's going to be 2 minutes.
Oh. She's going to be 2 minutes, Andy. So you might have to commentate by yourself.
I think I can handle that. Even though that everybody listening is already here. Your volume. You turn your volume down. All right, so we're going to get started here. We've got the first billiard battles taking place here at Barefoot Bob's Billiard in Prescott Valley, Arizona. We have 2 of our stronger players here in the community are matching up tonight. We have Nicholas Kline coming in at a very robust 600. Playing against Bryan Wilson, who's in the 610, 615 range. Should be a pretty good match after both these players get the first game, second game jitters out of the way. Looks like Nick has secured the solids. Shouldn't have much trouble, but it looks like that one might slow him down a little bit. He's going to try and shoot this 7 and break that 9 off there to create a hole for the 1 ball. Oh, overcut it just a little bit. Split right in between those balls very nicely. Looks like he's got a lot of options from here on to get the run out. Yes, Sean, this is Andy commentating. See if we can get some of the bugs worked out of the Billiard Battle system and see if I can provide any quality for this evening's events. So far, it looks like the first game jitters have gotten both these players on this rack. My co-host is coming aboard now.
Hello. Hello, Facebook land. All right, Andy, what are we doing here? Fill me in, catch me up.
Well, so far these gentlemen have lagged, and I believe Bryan won the lag.
Okay.
He broke. Made a ball.
There's a lot cleared. Okay.
And was not able to get out. Nick came to the table, had a tough layout. One of his balls was tied up. He tried for a shot and to break it out. He missed the breakout and missed the ball, and then Bryan has ran down to put himself in the last ball place, which is kind of a cardinal sin for 8-ball. You don't want to be left with 1 ball on the table.
And why is that?
Well, because typically the oncoming player has a lot more options, so it's easier for them to run out because they
Gotcha.
can connect the dots, or
Okay.
it's easier for them to lay up and play a safety against you. So,
Well, it looks like Nick is making a decent comeback.
It is, but this first game, like I said, both of these players have. Oh
No.
That's always not good when you coming out of the gate and have a scratch like that on a game. Both these players should have won this already, but like I said, I think it's just kind of the first game jitters and playing on the camera is a different pressure
Okay.
that both these players have seen a little bit of, but they're not real accustomed to playing like this.
So me, as somewhat of a guppy, as I call it, a lower skilled player, going straight on like that with a rail shot, is that unusual when you have ball in hand?
Well, yeah. And I think it's because he plays right-handed, so he was comfortable forcing that ball forward.
Okay.
If he was to shoot that ball off the rail to get shape, I mean, that side pocket gets really big when you bring the cue ball in that direction.
Okay. And Bryan
So,
takes that game.
Him shooting that way, as long as he went past the 8, he had enough room to miss that shot by 3, 4, 5,
Gotcha.
6 feet, and he still would have had a shot at the black ball. So,
Okay.
all right. Well, Mr. Wilson draws first blood. Looks like he'll be taking the red
Well, they're
side.
going to be our, yeah.
Nick will be taking the blue side.
So 1-0 and a race to 15?
I believe they're playing
Is
to
that
15.
correct?
And it looks like they're doing an alternate break format. So I know we're still fairly early into this, but do you have any predictions for this evening?
Oh, that's actually a really good question. Well, you know, there's an age differential here, of course. But I'm going to say Nikki's been practicing a lot. I've seen him because he's going to Vegas in early March. So I'm going to put my money on Nick only because I think he's a little hungrier.
I could definitely see that. Kind of my prediction going into this match was the person who drew first blood is the one who's going to win. Was where I was going to
First blood, huh?
lay my ducks.
First
yeah.
billiard blood.
And it's I mean, both players are still playing a little bit timid, a little bit jittery, and I
Yeah, I
think
noticed
the first
that.
one who settles down out of that is the one who's going to do this, because
Okay.
both these players have very vastly different playing styles. Nick plays a lot more carefree and confident where he can shoot the ball, and Bryan plays a lot more controlled. He'll play safe. He'll get out if he has to, but he's more calculated on where the cue ball's going to end up.
So I just got a pizza delivered. Are you hungry?
I'm actually good. We ate before we came. My fiance cooked me a great salmon dinner while I
you
was
have
at work.
a cooker at home? Mm.
All right.
That lovely pink ball.
That is definitely an odd color for the
That and
four
the,
ball. And the M&M Brown 7.
that's one way of putting it. I was thinking more diaperish content.
I wasn't quite sure who's all listening, so I was trying to build a little more PR.
Yeah, I'm the most un-PC person there is in this league, I think.
That's why they gave me the mute button, I guess.
Okay.
So he's got to get in shape to get that 2 ball in one of the side pockets. So this is kind of going to be the diciest shot for him to get shape on this blue.
And he's going for the 5, okay. So getting shape, that's something for me as a lower skilled player or beginning player that I'm working on now. And it's difficult to learn where the cue is going to go, depending on how hard you hit it.
So I know the one thing that really works good is not adding side spin to your game until you feel like you've become quite proficient at using top, middle, and bottom. And majority of the time, just with speed control, you can get the cue ball where it needs to go.
So that's what I've heard is professionals typically use just center, no English or top bottom only about 90% of the time. Is that
if you look
fairly
at
accurate?
Their center, the cue ball, I mean, they're only shooting about one tip out, unless their shots are really having to move the ball on. But majority of the time, they focus in on that center of the ball and just manipulate it a little bit. But their stroke's a lot more pure and refined than us amateurs are, so they strike the ball a lot cleaner.
So my coach and my mentor, Chuck Wiggins, that's what he has always told me is learn to pocket balls. You can do top and bottom English, but get comfortable with that, mastering that first, and then move on. So Bryan's down to his last.
So it looks like that 2 does have
and
a
then
hole
I'll be
down
on
there.
8. Does it get past the 11? Yes, it does. Nice shape.
Straight in on the 8 and breaking for the next rack. That's good.
So what's the most number of racks you've ran in consecutively in a row?
When I was first learning how to play, I ran 4 racks of 9 ball.
Nice.
And now that I consider myself a little more proficient, I have not been able to get over 3. So I think it was just a fluke back then.
Well, I have yet to run a rack in either 8 ball or 9 ball, but 5 is my top number of balls, but it's been few and far between.
So I'd say most of the time when you start getting into those situations, you're just really, you look at the shot, you make that shot to get shaped to the next shot, and you're not actually worried about counting the balls or trying to get out.
Right.
You're in that real deep level of focus, and it just happens. You're like, whoa, and you kind of come out of that trance, and you're like, did I just do that?
Right, and you're like, I just ran the table.
Pretty neat feeling.
So how many balls in advance, how many shots in advance do you think, a 300 to 350 person? I can't do more than 2.
I think that's all that you should do.
Okay.
At that skill level, I think you're going to want to look at your shot, because the main thing you're trying to do is get your mechanics right so you can make that ball.
Okay.
And you make that ball and then use that speed control we talked about earlier to get you on the next ball.
Okay, good. So I'm on track.
The next step after that would be to look at the third ball. So that way when you get shape on the second ball, you want to be on the correct side of the second ball, so it kind of makes that map and it makes the shots easier for you, so you don't have to work so hard to get to those. But as long as you just work on that straight up pocketing balls.
Cool. So Lynette's here cheering on her honey bunny.
We do have quite a crowd in here today. We've got a lot of males, a lot of females.
We do. What do we have about?
There's some action over on the 9-foot tables.
Yeah, we got about 20, 30 people here lurking in the background. And we've got a tournament going on the other side of the house with Linda Gaines, the in-house tournament that goes on here. So if you want to play pool, you can still probably come on down and get into that. We got a couple of people calling out individually some games on the 9-foots.
I saw we had another addition to the billiard battles this afternoon.
Did you see that? Are you talking about Kimball?
I did. We have
did you like his 8th game?
Out Johnny Crow.
Did you hear about his 8th game suggestion? Because they're both blind as bats, and so
it definitely adds a new spin.
So I can attest to that. I'm a negative 650 in my vision, so if I took my contacts out, I literally would bump into walls. So that ought to be fun. So we are at Barefoot Bob's Billiards on Pecos Drive in Prescott Valley. It's right off of the 89. It's super easy to get to if you live in Prescott. Don't think Prescott Valley, oh my gosh, it's so far. I live in Prescott. And it's actually very quick to get here.
Especially when you take that Highway 89 around on Fate Road.
That's
It's
exactly what I do.
nice drive.
Nice.
Nice touch.
Yeah. And for me, that's kind of the difference between an experienced player and a beginner player is, a beginner might just hit it very hard to just pray that something goes in. Whereas when you're more experienced,
Pray
there's a
method.
strategic element to. Wow. Nice.
Oh. So it's actually really tough to tell from this angle we're at if that ball has any clearance, if he can just stop that 4 ball and shoot the 2 in or not.
Yeah, it kind of makes you want to have several cameras, right?
Judging by the way he's looking at it, I think he bumped it into a difficult spot to
Yeah.
run out.
So, like, this is a great example of if you really don't have a shot that you are, very certain of, you play safety, correct?
Right. But when you're playing somebody who's as strong as Bryan and all his balls are open, he really doesn't want to break out anything, or he wants to try and tie something up, because you want the other player to have to manipulate the rack in order to get out and not just shoot their ducks, pretty much.
Okay. So, basically you're saying then he should attempt the shot? Nick?
He's kind of already made too many balls.
Gotcha. So
this is he's not quite in the 1 ball hell, as we call it, but he's
yeah, I don't know what that is.
He's in a tough spot because it's really hard for him to hook Bryan from where he's at.
Okay.
He might be able to loop around the backside of the 4, go 2 rails, and tuck him right at the side pocket.
What's it gonna do? Okay. Nice.
So
So,
we added a little bit of distance.
so safeties for me, and actually one of my teammates in our Thursday night league said the same thing. Like, we feel like we're giving up a turn if we have to use a safety, and so it's really hard to get over that as a beginner, as a guppy. And so, what would your advice be to those people?
On those,
Why are safeties
when
important?
I talk to people about that, analogy that I like to use is that we're not playing a game of checkers. We're playing a game of chess. The end goal here is to win the game. So if you're jacked up over a ball, I've seen people do this, and they're bridging up on the rail, and they want to get up there and they want to shoot the shot as fast as they can, and they don't care about the outcome.
Right.
But
Which those of us serious
deal
at the
is
competition
what
are
you're
not
trying
wanting
is
to do
you're
that.
trying to win.
Right. Okay.
So if you can manipulate your chess pieces so that way you can win, that's why you would lay up and you would play a safety, or you would try to tie their balls up. Because, the end note is you want to win the game.
So do you have a percentage in your mind that you use that if I feel, 75% sure I can make this shot, I take it? Or what's your...
I've adjusted that
To what?
recently, and I adjust it depending on the player I'm playing. So I just played in a 104-player tournament in Phoenix.
Wow.
And I played a lot tighter than I normally would.
Tighter meaning
Meaning
more
there was-
reserved, more not
Right,
taking as many
meaning
chances?
If
Okay.
I was 80% sure I was going to make the shot, I would have shot the shot.
Okay.
But anything less than that, or if the safety was an easier safety, I would shoot that even though I was 90% sure I'm making
Okay.
the ball.
Yeah. I hear a bunch of different percentages from all of you guys that have done this for a while, so I guess it's just where you're comfortable at yourself personally, but
Exactly.
okay. Ooh, nice leave.
So he should be good. He shouldn't float up too high on that. And I believe that 8 goes on the side.
So you're fearing he's not going to make shape? Oh. So he's going to use the 2 or not?
I don't believe he's going to have to. If
Okay.
he would have been lower, he could have used the 2. But right
Okay.
here, it's
Not
tough to
not
control.
needed. Nice.
Good shot.
And
All right, so that's our early
da-dun,
leads.
da-dun. We're on to number 4.
Now we're at Nick's break. And
So alternate break, right?
I expect Nick to start coming out of his shell now. So, but Brian's already got this little buffer, and it's just the race
Loosened
to 15 is a pretty good race. But when you're trying to play really intense, the races actually get a lot shorter.
So the alternating break, explain to me why winter break isn't the norm in the pool world, in the competitive pool world.
I think it has to do with a lot of complaints from players over the years that play at like a lot of the national events. I first noticed it when I went to Las Vegas and played in the Billiard Congress of America tournament in 2005, I believe. And before, I had always just done like barroom pool where you winter breaks and you take what you make.
Right, that's what I'm used to also.
Playing the BCA competition, they actually have a written down set of rules. And so I can see that it makes a little bit more sense. I personally
Is that just
like
for
playing,
fairness?
I personally like playing the winter break
Okay, I do too.
tournaments when you're playing against really strong players.
Alternating is better.
Yeah, because they're just
If you're getting your A
do a
kicked.
bunch of runouts. Because like I said, the majority of us players, we can run out a few racks, but we're not going to run out every rack.
Gotcha. Okay.
So everybody's
cool.
going to get a chance to go, but it's like you kind of want to have another victory, so you just win the game, and then now you're already sitting in the chair.
That's what I feel like when I rarely do get to win.
Especially on the weighted races, where you're having to give up weight. I think absolutely it should be a winter break format.
Okay. Now, is that considered a weighted object? Like, can you call that as winter breaks or alternate break? Would that be considered part of the weighted system? If you allowed your opponent to break if they win?
Not necessarily. Not
Okay.
necessarily.
Okay. Well, he is warming up, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's going to have to take a little bit of time on this because that 7 could get a little bit funny on him.
That was beautiful. So how's he going to get back around for the 7?
I think he's just going to draw it between the rail
Okay.
and hit over by the 8. And
Gotcha. And just what you said.
so he hit it just enough with the spin to clear it, and it hit the rail and spun the rest of the way to get his shape.
So what kind of English was it that he used? Would you guess?
It is mostly just draw.
Okay, so just low.
Draw. So the
Okay.
natural angle of the cue ball coming off of the 5, I believe it was he just shot. The natural angle is what spun it
Okay.
down just a little bit.
So how many days a week do you play, Andy? On
When I
average.
was younger, it used to be quite a bit more, but now it's I play about my 4 games on Thursdays.
Yes. The round robin. I love that format, actually. Oh,
Good run
nice.
out,
Nice.
Nick. And
Okay,
Nick is on
so
the board.
Nikki's on the board. As I like to call it, the old man's been schooled. When he watches this later, he'll be like, what?
I'm pretty sure he has less gray hair than I do.
Yeah, your kids are young, his are old.
I grew up with 3 sisters. That's where I got
Oh,
mine.
you poor thing. All right, what are our watchers saying? Peggy, what? Oh no, what, Peg? Go be go. Okay. All right, Peg. So Peg.
19 minutes ago.
That was a while ago.
I believe that's when I introduced you as the co-host.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Fix me. What did I do?
So we do have a little bit of lag.
All right. So apologies, folks, if we have a few bodies walking through the video. We're right in front of the girlies' potty. So us girlies got to go sometimes. All right, so who all is... We got 16 people watching. Who do we have? Oh, here we are.
So this is where Bryan likes to get really methodical.
And it looks like he is.
He likes to really map out the layout that he wants to shoot to see if he can get out or if he's going to have to lay up.
Okay. And when you say lay up, are you talking about a safety?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you, like I said,
for us guppies, you got to
you
like spell it out.
want to do that when there's still a lot of traffic on the table.
Okay.
But
Wow.
both
Is that
of
you,
these-
Lynette?
Both these balls don't look like they have much tied up. The 9 and the 5 in the middle of the table.
So he's just trying to decide his suit right now.
Yeah, I think I would take stripes.
So that's really difficult for someone of a guppy level to try and pick a suit. A lot of times it's which ball is closest that I can get in. Is that kind of common?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And like I said, that's when you're just trying to build up that confidence for
Right.
making.
Look how low he is. Jeez.
So the neat thing about 8-ball is even if you miss your shape and get hooked behind a ball, there's usually another ball.
Right, there's so
help
many on
get
the
you out of
table.
jail. So that's why when you pick those shapes, you kind of put yourself in between the middle of a bunch of balls.
Gotcha. So is that fairly typical? Would you say that people that are starting out typically gravitate towards 8-ball because of that? Because 9-ball is so strategic and so
I think
strict?
I think just because it's so prevalent in bars, pool halls, a lot of tournaments are geared towards it versus 9-ball.
Gotcha.
I think people who grew up playing in pool halls,
Yeah, don't know what 9-ball
play
is.
9-ball a
Yeah.
lot more.
Yeah.
Whereas people who grew up learned how to play, not grew up, but learned how to play playing in bars, play 8-ball.
I agree. So I was one of those people that's how I learned, was just in bars and, wherever we went. We rode horses. We were a equestrian type of family, and I loved playing, and I never knew 9-ball existed.
Shoot that very well.
Oh, nice.
Very, very well.
But now that I know 9-ball because I'm in league, it's kind of a pain in the butt. And I say that lovingly, and that if you're not a good strategic player, if you can't read the table well, it's very much a challenge.
It is definitely more of a challenge
So,
if you're not
yeah.
used to manipulating and moving the
Right.
ball around the table.
And I think that's my gripe about it. Peg, don't say a word.
So we, a couple years back, myself and Richie Daniels had a invitational tournament we called the Garage Games.
Oh, I
There's a
love
couple
it.
of us in the town. This was before Bob's was here.
Tough miss.
See how we picked up on that ball?
Mm-hmm.
Just lost focus for just a little bit.
He is not happy
Missed
with
it.
himself.
So
Garage Wars.
So we had the Garage Games, and we actually played 7-ball because most of us had only played
What's
8-ball.
7-ball?
And so 7-ball is exactly like 9-ball. You just take the
One after the other. Did you just see that?
definitely
So Nick missed
uncharacteristic for
too.
Nick, especially after that
Right,
strong
right.
run out into
After that opportunity. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So 7-ball is
7-ball, you rack it
similar
with
to
the
9, but
7 in the middle and the 1 in the front. All the other balls are at
okay.
random. And it's like the diamond of 9-ball. You just take the two tips off, so it makes an octagon,
Okay.
a hexagon.
And it's sequential. You hit them in
And
order.
yeah. So
Okay.
on the break, whatever you make on the break, you have to spot up,
Mm.
and you're allowed 1 safety.
That's it in the whole game?
1 safety in the whole game. And if you miss,
Oh, okay. So
Good job,
Bryan's
Bryan.
advanced to 4.
And if you miss, the incoming player gets a ball in hand.
Okay.
So it really helps with pattern play. And you can start learning, and you're like, hey, I can make 1, 2, 3, 4. So you actually have to map everything out, because if you make 3 balls and you miss, your opponent comes to the table, they only have to make 4 balls.
Right. That's the other reason why I don't like 9 ball.
So-
If I get 1 to 8 and then I miss, then they hit the 9 in, ball in hand, and then they have the next rack.
And sometimes you'll play players that they try to make the cue ball shoot off of something and try to make the 9 on every shot. And those players are kind of frustrating because they reshuffle the deck every time you go to the table, so you already mentally made a plan.
Is
The
that
next
like
time you
someone
go up,
that
you have
hits
another
on
plan.
16 in blackjack? Guess who you're sitting next to?
Mrs. 16. All right, so Bryan
So
is
dry
fortunate
break.
to pull another win out.
So 7, I haven't seen 7 ball played here, like in 2 years I've been doing this. Why is that? Do you know? Or would you guess?
It didn't really have a lot of traction.
Okay.
I know the pros were playing it for a little while, and they were playing that bonus ball game, which all those games look pretty neat, but if the professional players kind of don't adopt it,
Then it doesn't.
seems a little
Gotcha.
more
Doesn't pick up
short-lived.
steam. Yeah. I like the idea of spotting balls though. If the not correct one is hit in.
I think we're frozen.
All right. We know people. We're gonna. All right. So our stream is working. Hold on, real quick. Oh, we got a little technical faux pas. Try and refresh. It's just not.
What's going on?
It's just frozen.
It's not frozen. on there.
Stand by with us, folks. Oh, okay. It's just us. Just Andy and I. And my piece of poo Microsoft computer.
Yeah, it's not frozen.
Okay. We are. He and I are. Thank God we're live. I mean, thank goodness we're live. All right, I need another device. All right, folks, so we're having a bit of technical difficulties on our side. Andy and I are. So if you don't hear from us, only because we're trying to figure it out. All right. Bryan is bringing out, I was going to say whipping out, but that probably doesn't sound right. So Bryan's bringing out
The jump shot cue.
a jump shot cue. So things are getting real in here, people. Alrighty, and back we are. Okay, so what's going on? Okay, hang with us, folks. We're working on it. For some reason, some of us here have it, and you guys out there in La La Land do not. Bear with us.
going off the live feed. A watch party going off the live feed.
That's what you're doing, or that's what it is. Yes, it's like you have to touch things dead, and it's like frozen. She's doing.
See, my-
I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm good.
So it's this device, but this device is screwing up the feed to everybody else. It's got to be with this one.
It's fine, right?
That's just power right here, right?
That does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all it is. I just don't want to move this because I'm afraid it's going to. The feed sometimes goes stale when it's been on a while, go out of the region and come back in. That's what Stephanie just said. I don't know. Do you know much about technology?
I actually do, but I don't know anything about
So well, this is the feed right here. So do you want to get up here and look at what's going on here?
But see, it's going off of his. This has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Right, but they're complaining they can't see. The other people are. And I think you can see because you're feeding you're sharing it.
Yeah, I'm sharing it off the live feed.
That's the feed though. And so,
Right. So that's still, if it's still showing, then
that's what I'm saying. Stephanie and Peg both say they can't see.
This angle right here is bad.
That's me. That's my phone.
do you have that zoomed in?
You're watching it.
Right. I logged into our. So I'm doing what you're doing.
But it's got the
It
Hers
does
is showing too. She just pulled it up.
Let me see what Jess says. Can you flip it sideways, Jess?
Yeah.
Can we flip it sideways and see what it does? Yeah, so that one's fine. Yours is...
No one's talking.
Well, yeah, how do we close this thing? I don't even know where the on button is for this thing. Oh, wait. You just had something happen. Can you close your Excel? Can you close your Excel?
Sorry, sweets.
Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties. Hopefully they're restored. Oh, Nick. Well, he definitely didn't give that one away.
I am eating. Alright. Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Alright, Facebook land, we're back. All I'm telling you is my hair does not look great in this headset. That's what I am telling you. No. I don't know about that, but I need fluffy hair. Because we all know that that's super important when we're playing pool. Alright. Okay, what happened
So
here?
can everybody see
I'm
us
having
and
some
hear us
issues,
now?
aren't I? Air or hair? Lynette? I'm gonna send you away from my table, girl. I heart you. Alright, there we go.
Turn the volume down on that.
You can hear it. hair or your... All right. There we go.
So looks like you gave him a little breathing room. I think you can see the edge of it.
All right. P-Dub. All right, catch me up. Where are we at? I had to get a piece of pizza and watch you fix my technical
Nice
faux
slice.
pas. Penny foo-foo
Very
here.
nice comeback, Nick.
All right, so we are at 4-2.
4-2.
4-2.
Yeah, so just awesome slice, and he got a little fortunate
So not
on
quite
not scratching in the
halfway.
side.
Who scratched on the side? I missed that. Just watch. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just watch the replay here.
Oh, all right. All right, so Lynette, when you get up to go next, will you go see how many players and stuff they have over there, and we'll like announce it for the group on the other side? If you get up and go, oh, okay, never mind. So so we're good. You know, later when you. Whoa. I had a bunny hop.
Thank you, Stephanie. We need something to boost our confidence right now.
Because she thinks I'm doing a crappy job. Watch this.
She likes the hair.
No, you're having hair issues. Did you see that, or is that just on?
I did not see that.
So I think that's because you did the watch party, so there's different people on
Yeah,
there.
you're sharing your own
which
stuff,
kinda steals
Lynette.
it from here.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that actually
So,
works.
Lynette, I cannot entertain your group and my group, so I'm going to stick with my group. Your family's in trouble with me, by the way.
Looks like Nick looks a little bit rushed when he's shooting his shots.
Did he get rattled in the last one? Okay, so we're studying, deciding what. It's open, right?
I believe it is.
So, you know, this is our billiard battles with an S, billiard battles. And we ask everybody to use hashtag billiard battles when they're posting anything about it. But the only requirement to get in to do this is you do a video to call out somebody.
Chris, we have a couple of iPhones in here that people are using, and they are able to see the whole table, so I don't know if you can go in and go out.
Correct.
We did have that issue. Looked like on an Android phone.
Now, there are several devices here, Chris, where we're centered and you can see the entire table, so maybe it's your device. So I was saying that Billiard Battles is the name that Bryan and I and Lynette came up with, and you do not have to be a top player to play in this, by the way. As a matter of fact, I'm deciding on who I'm going to try and call out.
So I'm able to check out with a
Good, you got it.
Samsung,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
can get the full video.
So Chris, he
what model of phone is
tested
this one?
it.
This
That's
is-
fine, and it's a Galaxy, but I'm blind as a bat, so I have mine on amplification.
Oh, okay, and maybe that's why yours isn't working.
Oh, did it freeze again? So know that you do not have to be an excellent player or a 400, 500, 600 rated Fargo. You can do this at any level. Bryan and I just wanted the pool community to have some fun, get together. Oh, that was tough.
Nick just looks like he's a little bit out of adjustment right now. When he was warming up, watching him play earlier, he was hitting balls very well, very effortlessly, but just something's got him a little bit out of sorts.
It just takes one thing to make you rattled, and then you...
Where I think Bryan, coming off of his big win with the state championship, is one thing that's allowing him to kind of get adjusted and get in that focus.
Feel a little more comfortable.
Nick was a little bit more hungry.
Good point. I agree.
Bryan's just coming off of that big win, and I think it's easier to maintain yourself in like a tournament style, where your nerves are a little bit more rattled, kind of focusing. So I think we're seeing a little bit of evidence of this so far.
I agree.
So I think he's going to try and spin off of that 7 ball and try and break the 5 off the rail. He's got to
Let's see how it goes.
Which he did very nicely.
Okay, so I just had to close out my tab. Where did we leave off at? So we were talking
I
about...
believe we're going to be here for a little while longer.
You think? I know it's... Why is it slowing down? So is that what happens? Everybody's all hot and bothered when they come out the gate, and then they start to realize, uh-oh, I better slow down and be more strategic? Is that kind of how it goes?
It's when your brain starts to take over and you just definitely don't want to second guess
The adrenaline wears off a little.
your shot making. Looks like he came just a little bit short of where he wanted to coming off of that rail there. So he could just float it down.
And when you
shoot
say
the
short, where would you have expected him? Above the center pocket?
A little bit closer to the black ball.
Okay.
Would have allowed the cue ball to just roll down away from the one.
Okay.
Now he's going to shoot it.
Ooh,
So
what's
now
he going to do with
now
that?
the 9 ball is really going to come into play, and you got to be careful of the scratch.
What's he going to do with the 1?
Or if you draw it off the 9, you could get hooked on the 13.
Do you think he's going to cut that? Or bank?
So if he would have came a little closer to the 8, he'd have been able to roll straight.
Right, it'd have been
roll the
more,
1 ball
yeah.
into the pocket we can see.
Oh, so he could see that pocket. Okay. So
We
he's got a
came up very
long shot for the 8, but not.
Are you guys still able to see the
Impossible.
feed?
They still can?
Who says they can't see it?
The device we have here.
Yeah, let me do this.
Excellent out, Bryan.
Yeah, it's gonna hit the cue ball. He scratched.
Oh, we're having these electronics issues, and I didn't pay attention to that.
Sorry about that, folks. We missed commentation on that. Lynette pointed that out diligently. Okay, 4-3. Red.
How quickly the tides have turned.
Alright, there we go. Alright. My surface is having a bit of issue, isn't it, Andy?
Yes, Stephanie, I concur. He never does that when he plays me either.
Okay, alright. Stephanie. He never does that when he plays me. Maybe you should ask next time before you start, Steph. You think so, Sean? She left.
Very nice touch, Nick. Definitely well on his way to tying this set up.
Yes, yes, he is. Steph, you bat those beautiful blue eyes, and you can get him to do whatever you want.
Overrolled it just a little bit. So he's kind of going to have to pinch this ball so he can stay in line for the 8.
And I'm sorry I wasn't here at the beginning. Is he running this table? Or
He is.
Okay.
Nick is. Bryan is yet to see the table.
there we go. I like how easy they shoot the ball. I noticed that too as I
Just
started.
enough to make the ball
Yep.
hit the pocket.
As I started to get better in my game, it's like it's not about cracking it as hard as you can.
So we call
All
that
right.
so we call that pocket speed.
Pocket speed. Okay, so we're tied up.
Just hard enough to pocket the ball.
So pocket
tied
speed,
up
you
at 4
guppies.
apiece.
Pocket speed means just enough for it to drop into the pocket. All right, so 4-4. We are halfway through. Both gentlemen are extremely serious. Should we give him some chocolate, Lynette? Should we give him some chocolate?
Both of them?
Evidently not. Nice break. Oh,
That was a
well, nice break with the
Avoidable mistake.
cue ball.
Gotta keep that cue ball out of that pocket. I'm pretty notorious for doing that same exact break.
So we were talking a little bit about the requirements of doing billiard battles, which there's not many, but our next one is going to be March 6th?
Yes.
6th or 7th. It's Friday. And it's Bob Farrell, Bob F with fun. F is for fun. Bob Fun Farrell.
Bob Fun Farrell against Sean
Against
Macho
Sean
Man.
Macho Man. If you did not see that video, search for it because it was hilarious. His wife was cracking me up. He was cracking me up. And the kid in the background was cracking me up. It was awesome.
I liked the streamer armbands and the little kitty microphone. Was
Yeah, with a heart that was, shaped like a
that
heart.
sold
but
the whole thing.
I agree with you. So they are March 6th. They are also here at Bob's, Barefoot Bob's. The format's a little different. And then we actually got our third call out that happened today. Mr. Kimball called out Johnny Crowfoot. But we haven't heard from Johnny yet, so we'll see if he's gonna be man enough to take that challenge or not. That should get it stirred up a little bit. Let's see how that goes.
So-
All right.
Nick looks like he's
Nice.
going now. I
Yeah.
think
He's determined.
got the jitters out. Yeah. He's probably going to play the 14, the 15.
You see the pattern, I can tell.
Oh, he came back to try and get shape on the 13 there. 14.
So have you decided who you're going to call out? Andy,
I have a couple of prospects, but
a couple of ideas in mind? All right.
not quite Not quite there yet. I need a little bit more time.
I'm thinking of doing a Scotch challenge, grabbing a partner.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought that might be different. All right, so he's got
kinda gotta
2
land in
left.
that window between the 8 ball and the 3 ball.
Yes, how is that going to... So he's side in the 10. Okay.
Oh, I went to the rail and back.
Cut.
So what's tough about this is he can hit that ball in, but he's going to hit some traffic, and you need to hit the correct side of the ball to bring the ball back so you can have a shot at the black ball.
Okay.
And it's... I mean, if he hits that 7 ball really
Which part?
solid, he's going to be hooked.
Oh. In true penny sense, I'm carrying on 2 conversations at one time. So, Lynette likes the idea of Scotch. And Andy's trying to focus me on the table.
I think we're talking about pool and not the drink, ladies.
Correct. Correct, sir. We're talking about pool and not the drink. But we could drink Scotch while we're doing Scotch. Doubles, I mean, that would be okay. Oh, maybe we should do that. Take a shot, make a shot.
That would add to the excitement a little bit, I'm sure.
Well, you saw Kimball said take off our glasses for game 8, so it's probably going to be about the same level of play. Nicely done, Nicholas. Okay, did everybody just see that? I just want to know, did everybody see that? Did you see that, like, go around the table and then line right up with the pocket? When I grow up, that's one day what I'm going to be able to do. Nicely done, Nicholas.
That's what you call sporty.
Sporty?
Sporty.
Sporty.
Very sporty.
All right, I like that. Peg. It's because great minds think alike, sweet potato. That's why we were thinking the same thing. Wink, wink, and you have to be on my team, Peg. You cannot be against me, ever.
So for the first time tonight, we have a new leader.
I'm sorry, what, Andy?
I said for the first time tonight, we have a new leader.
Yes, yes, we do. And he's a youngin'. A quiet youngin'. So everybody knows that Nick has been doing this for quite a while. He told me he used to play for 8 hours a day in the summertime when he was younger in school. And he went to Asia as a representative of the United States.
Yeah, in the junior.
He did in the juniors league, exactly.
BCA, I believe it was.
I believe it was AP.
Junior BCA.
Was it BCA or APA?
It was not APA.
Okay.
Does
But
the
he-
APA actually have juniors?
We do.
events?
We absolutely do. Yeah. And so he got to represent and play, and he did well. But he definitely has pool in his blood, that's for sure.
Very nice shot. Kind of took care of all his problems, cleared the balls out. He has a free pass.
So
for
you don't
everything
see
now.
the 6 as a problem?
I do not.
Okay. How about the 3?
The 1 ball leads to the 3, and he should have.
So when you say that 1 ball leads to the 3, you're hitting the
So
1
if
in
he
the
gets-
corner.
If he gets shaped to the 1,
Okay. He'll have it on the
he'll
3.
just roll it
Right.
up and have a shot at the 3.
See, that's what us guppies don't get yet. So this is very helpful to talk it through for me.
So we actually. chose
Thank
a
you,
little
Sue,
bit
for
of pattern
correcting
tonight.
us. I thought it was APA, but I wasn't certain. Sorry, Andy, I didn't mean to step on you. So it was the APA league that he went to
I stand corrected.
Oh, tough leave. Okay, so Andy, what's your take on people that like show their hand, like, you know, poker players try to be straight-faced? Do pool players try to do the same thing where you don't act like it bothered you, but do you think it matters? If you show physically that you're upset with your shot, do you think it gives your opponent an advantage?
Sometimes it gives the opponent an advantage. Sometimes, I mean, the player's doing it because they're just frustrated with themselves.
I agree.
And I think to some extent we all show
our hand a little.
Being a little bit discouraged when things don't work out how we saw or intended.
All right, so Bryan's got some cleaning up to do.
He definitely does. I know some players, if they do that a little bit too much, they get other players get a little too much frustrated and don't enjoy competing against those players anymore.
It's almost like a tell, you know, if you're coming up against them.
Well, it kind of sometimes rides along that line of unsportsmanship.
Right.
Conduct. And it's, for majority of us, this is a hobby. And we do it for fun and enjoyment. We still want to walk away and be friends with everybody, and some people like to take it a little more seriously. And I know that they're not mad at their opponent, but they get really frustrated with themselves.
Right.
And it comes off that way.
Oh,
Nice
broke that out. But it worked. It worked. It's got clear sight on it.
Just gave them a little splash.
That's one thing that I realized coming into this sport is sportsmanship, unfortunately, I mean, it is prevalent, but it wavers sometimes with some people. And it's so important in any sport, not just pool. You know, if you can't do it with integrity and you win.
I feel like the mental aspect of this game is such a strong component on how well you play. And
I agree.
Like the rolls, sometimes you get rolls and sometimes you don't.
Right.
And if you're in the middle of a set, sometimes the rolls turn. Like Bryan was getting some a little bit better rolls. Nick was a little foggy to start the set, and now Nick's in the lead.
Right.
And you just have to change that mental focus a little bit.
Right.
And it seemed to me some of those players that show their hand a little bit more don't quite have as much mental focus as the other players, where it's easier for them to shrug off and make that little slight adjustment and start to compete at the level they know they can compete at.
Yeah, that's a great analogy and example of it. Oh, look at
Very
that.
nice touch.
That was very difficult to do. Hitting a ball very softly is really hard to do. There's a fine line between, you know, the double tap and hitting it lightly. So where's he going to go with the 8 on this, you think? Down to the corner?
He's going to put it down in the opposite corner.
In the
He
upper
shoots
corner?
this
All right.
14 ball out. $12 ball, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I
Those-
can't. I say the
funny
pink.
co-
I'll
the
say the
funny
pink
colors.
one. Wow. So is that what you saw coming?
So I think he was trying to bump the 6, actually.
Okay. Because I felt like he's a little further away than he wanted to be, right?
I think he was hoping to hit that and it would have held it for him to get shape. He split the goalposts.
Okay. All right. He's taking his time.
Yeah, definitely focused for this shot.
Oh my gosh. And we've got the baseball swing with the pool cue going on.
Yeah.
All right. Still not over.
So this is another thing when you're looking at this
Right, so-
ball in hand, you're looking for the easiest pattern to get you to the cue ball. So it looks like Bryan conceded the...
So Nikki was actually going to spot it. That was so nice of him. And Bryan just reminded him of the scores. Okay, so we're 4-5. What were you saying?
So he didn't concede the match. He's going to make him shoot it out, which I would with four balls to shoot.
Okay, so explain to me what just is going on. Why is he shooting them all out?
Bryan just scratched. Well, he didn't make the 8.
Correct.
The 8 ball has to be legally pocketed in order for the game to be over.
Interesting. So that is
We have
a...
another turn of events.
Okay, so explain to me what happened, because I don't understand what just happened.
So Bryan
Right.
made him shoot him out.
Why,
so
when you
conceding
say
the
he
game.
made him shoot it out, what does that mean?
Because he has to legally pocket the 8 in order to win the game.
And he can't just go right to the 8. He has to finish his.
He has to clean up his whole suit.
Even though
before he can pocket
Bryan
the
scratched on the 8. So that's not an automatic win for your opponent.
Correct. If he would have pocketed the 8,
BCA
if
is...
he would have pocketed the 8, it would have been a loss. If he would have pocketed the 8 and fouled, it would have been a loss.
Okay, so
But he
gotcha.
failed to pocket the 8,
Gotcha.
so the game's not over until the 8 is legally
Okay.
pocketed.
Okay. Well, barroom is different also, correct? I mean, typically if you scratch on the 8, it's done. I mean, in barroom pool, that's when I grew up, that's how it was if you scratched. But we also only shot out of the kitchen, so. Ball in hand was like, what? When I learned that, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Okay, so
All
it's
right, here we are
5-5.
tied up
Here
again.
we go.
So
Ooh, that one.
we got a little bit of congestion on the side pocket here.
So, solid's looking better to me. What about you?
From what I can see of the rack, if he can make
You got 2 stripes on the rail.
that stripe off the rail, off of the 9 ball in the side, he should have a good chance. Because I don't know if the 7 goes in the side or not. If the 7 goes in the side, solid.
It can if the yellow one stays there. I think it's a 9. If it stays
can
there,
use that as a
yeah,
bumper.
right.
Then definitely solids.
Okay.
If that 7 didn't go, I would have taken the stripes.
Okay. So there is multiple ways to run a pattern on a table. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. I
And
think
that's
for
how-
guppies like me that
Doing either the commentating job or even coaching your players, because everybody plays differently and they have different strengths and different weaknesses.
good. So that's nice to hear, because you do hear a lot of times, especially being new, and they're like, no, you should do this one, and then this one, and then somebody else will say, no, that one, this one, and that one. It's like, but I was going to do. So.
Right, and usually the best approach to that is just try and find the easiest pattern that works for you so you can shoot to your strengths. So since I play left-handed, I shoot to that side of the table or that side of the ball so I can reach the shots.
That makes sense.
Whereas some of my opponents are sometimes playing scotch doubles, they play right-handed and I have to think how they would shoot the ball.
Okay.
Hi, Willie. How are ya?
So Miss Lori Day just arrived to greet me. She's standing behind me. Say hi, Lori, everybody. Hey. Why you don't concede a game, never know what's going to happen. Right, Peggy? I totally agree. Peggy said that's why you don't concede a game. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but then you have a ball in hand.
Girl, do you know how many people have missed ball in hand on the 8 ball that I've played? All I'm saying is I never say never, and
So this shot
Something
here,
like
he's got to
that.
be really careful not to
he was shooting over the
tie
ball.
him,
Yeah.
to tie himself up, because
Yeah.
he could have got hooked behind the 10 or hit it, came off the rail and got hidden behind the 14, 15.
And I totally agree, Lynette. Like 9 times out of 10, somebody of Bryan and Nick's skill level is not going to miss. But in league, there is that time that it happens, or tournament play, where a few $100s is on the line. I could personally use a few $100s every day, so I will stand and wait and watch. And he pockets his 8 ball just like he is supposed to. All right, so now we're 6-5.
We're just kind of seesawing our way through the match now.
Right, Peggy, right. Hey,
So
Aaron.
we're,
Hey, Kimball, we loved your video, by the way. And I believe you're going to have an acceptance. He's trying to do a production video to respond back with. So when are we going to have some ladies throw out some stuff here, Miss Lynette? We need some ladies to join in. Peg, Steph, Penny, Lynette, Linda, Lori. Let's see who else is here. Sue, Jessica,
There's a lot of
Casey.
ladies in attendance.
All right. This
Peggy, they're
race,
doing a race to 15.
this race is to 15, correct?
So one thing that I have noticed, Penny, is we are starting the 12th game, and we have yet to see a safety.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Huh.
So
And I've heard
both-
safety wins games.
Both of these guys are playing a very aggressive game.
It's an interesting observation. Thank you for pointing it out.
I assume as we start to get a little bit closer towards the finish of it, that
You'll
we'll
see
start
it
to see that,
A little more strategic
that level
and
of play
yeah.
tighten up. And
Well, I remember when I came into the league and I started, Miss Peg, Miss Stephanie, and Miss Lisa Tarlip kept hitting their balls like an inch, a half an inch into the rail, and I'm like, what the H is going on? So yeah, I got my schooling on safeties real quick, and they are very important, especially to a young player, young skilled player, I should say.
we'll just
A
go with
guppy like
young,
myself.
a young cueist.
The young cueist. I like that. A youthy cueist. They're very important.
Did he take over Ross Jacobs? Your dad. Yeah, that's Clay County Treasurer.
No, he resigned himself.
Ross did.
Yeah,
your
he just
dad's
quit.
taking over his
He just quit. Yeah, he got appointed to interim position on Monday.
Nobody ever.
All right, so you know you're going to be really shocked, people, but I have to go to the bathroom. Penny's got to go potty, so I'll be right back. Here's Lynette to talk to you. It's fine. Just talk to Andy. I have to pee bad.
All right. Can you hear me, Andy? Do you have to turn it on? Hey,
No,
how do you turn it on?
it's on.
It's on.
Limited.
Oh.
You just can't hear. There's no back feed, so you can't hear me and I can't hear you.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm taking over for Penny for a few minutes.
We have another co-host, Miss Lynette Wilson. Ooh. Nick made an excellent bank to get himself that shot. Not sure if he's got enough of that 8 ball to make it or not. So he's kind of got to go for it now.
All right, let's see what Bryan can do.
I think all Bryan's got to do is make this first ball, and then he's kind of off to the races at that point. And there's the first one. Very controlled shot.
Stay there. Stay.
Oh,
Good out. Bryan.
nice job, Bryan. What kind of skill does it take, Andy, for a player to actually play the whole game in their head before they actually shoot it?
I don't know if it's the skill to play the game, but it's just practicing and just seeing the patterns. I know myself, I've ran out a lot more racks in my head than I've done on the actual table. So, it's neat to watch a lot of matches like this because you get to see how different players manipulate the rack and the little movements and how much they simplify the game for me to make it like, oh, I would have made that shot a lot more complicated and went 2, 3, or 4 rails to get back there, and they just bounced off a ball and kept the cue ball right there and had a bunch of easy shots.
I know that playing as a novice player, that by watching pool for as many years as I've watched it, that sometimes I can even see maybe what the next shot is, so I can
start
plan
to
for
see the
that.
patterns.
Yeah.
Now that was a much better break. Perfectly parked cue ball. Makes the 8 on the break. And in this format, him making the 8 on the break is not a win. So he gets to spot the 8 ball and continue shooting where the cue ball lies. Or if he chooses, he can re-rack and get another break. So that's where that mapping comes into play. So right now he's going to map this out, and if he thinks that he can run out, he's going to go ahead and take it as it is. If he thinks it's a little bit too difficult, he'll most likely option to do the re-break.
Re-rack it.
and see if he gets a little better chance at it. So it's kind of rolling the dice. This is a known, or if you do the rebreak, it's an unknown.
Ooh.
Oof. Trying to hold that cue ball just a little bit much.
So now basically Nick is doing the same thing, walking around the table.
So yeah, it's still open. So Nick's going to go ahead and map it out, but Nick doesn't get the choice. He has to play it. So he's going to go ahead and do the same mapping thing that Bryan was just doing to figure out his easiest path of least resistance to try and run out, or if he has to break balls out or do what he needs to do to win the game. So it looks like he optioned for the solids.
Yeah, looks like it was easier.
None of those are really tied up. I'm not sure if the 7 goes by the 11 or not. But there's a clear path for the 8 ball, and that was definitely a good option. I think he's going to try and leave himself for the 3 next, because that's his toughest shot he has left on the table. Use the 4 ball to come back across.
I think maybe we should put Eric here on commentary.
We've already hit him up. Eric's on the list. Down to the disc golf tournament today. I just got
And for anyone wanting to go out tonight, we're still quite a ways away from 15. So come on down to Bob's and watch some pool or play some pool.
Oh, just a little short on the gas.
I don't know, it's pretty small, so.
That had to hurt.
I don't know if it'll hurt too much. He's still got a little bit of work to do to get around to that 10 and the 14 ball. The 9 ball kind of gets him over there, but he's got to land on it really good.
So how would you break this out, Andy? How would you break this out?
Just like what he's doing right there, just to bring it over. But he's got to shoot. He's got to get the 14 because the 14 only comes up table. So he has to be on the correct side of that 10 in order to hold him so he can shoot up this direction.
Are you ready to come back, Penny?
I'm ready, baby. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Here you get Penny back.
Oh, you're like, oh, boo. All right, welcome back to Crazyville. I'm here. Hoot, hoot.
I think you were funnier.
Oh, I don't know
Very
about
nice
that.
shot. Looks like he was able to hold that ball.
I know blonder, it's for sure.
Side pocket.
Oh, did you see it? I just choked myself on the cord to my headset.
Made it a little bit difficult being frozen on the rail, but he should be able to just come off the end rail and float it back by the side pocket. Shoot it in that corner he's standing in.
Good. I'm pretty sure that's not straight enough for me, so yeah, he'd have to do it again.
Very well executed.
So how much do we have on this game?
Nice out, Bryan.
150? 150. $150. Not a bad night's income for a few hours.
I think Bryan's been on a good little run. I think Nick's going to turn it on this game and
You think so?
start sawing his way back a little bit.
So Nick's going to show the old man. Nick's going to show the old man how to do it. Yeah, Eric's here. He's our backup commentator.
Got to bring the ringer in.
You know what? I do want to play. I don't care. Somewhere over there. So I might let Eric hop in for a second, and then I'm gonna go shoot a round, and then I'll be back.
Makes 2 balls on the break. He's got choice.
What's up, Mr. Davis?
How are we doing, Mr. Olson? Just here watching the inaugural billiard battle.
Yeah, this is cool. I like this. I like this format. Got here a little late. Looked like Nick started off a little slow, but Bryan looks really comfortable.
Bryan definitely got in his comfort zone a little bit earlier, but both players have made a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes.
All right.
And I think Bryan's capitalized on that a little bit more than Nick
Right.
has. He was able to hold that one. He should be able to get out on this.
It might be a little steep, but should be able to handle this with some spin. Little low left spin on this. Yep.
I think he's still good. He can make the 6 and
Yeah, roll up for
over and
either
shoot the 8 all the way up.
8 in the side or 8 in the corner. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's kind of
siders.
got 2 pockets here to play to. Just don't want to overhit this shot. You know, if you underhit it a little bit, you have the side. If you roll a little too far, you have the corner.
With the angle, I think he'll be
Right.
definitely won't get trapped by the 15.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's-
he went aggressive on it.
Yeah, he tried to go back and forth there.
We are back live.
All right. Break's over. Back to work. You're good. Hold on. Let me get this thing back on. Okay, so are we using your phone?
Yes.
Which cord do you need?
All right. No, you're good. You want to take a break? Are you good? Come back. I said the same thing. We'll sit down for a minute so I can get back.
Are we out of internet?
No. Yeah, I can get this tethered. Let's just tether it. And you guys can see me.
I turned mine off before I got
Bryan with just a stop shot here. Sorry about those technical difficulties. We're back now, as far as I know.
So we had a little intermission.
Yep. So Bryan now with the 9-5 lead.
It kind of puts him in a pretty comfortable position, and he's playing well.
Yeah, no, like I said when I first came in, he seems really comfortable.
Nick did go on a good little 3-game run earlier,
Okay.
and in all honesty, if he just settles down and focuses and makes a few of those little key things that he's been missing,
Yeah.
he really could turn this around. And
Yeah, I've
it would
noticed
tighten this matchup.
I've noticed when Nick struggles a little bit, he seems to maybe speed up a little bit. He kind of lets some earlier shots affect him later on in the games. And
I think
he's a young player. He'll get over that in time, you know.
Yeah, and I think I noticed that earlier. I was thinking he was just playing just a little bit faster than his normal pace of play is.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of a thin line there because, you know, when you play too slow, that can affect you as well. Well, looks like he broke dry here. What do you like here, Andy?
Well, with the angle that we have, it's really tough to get the whole map of the table to see if that 4-ball and the 3-ball, if that can be manipulated.
Right. The 13's a little bit of trouble, but he's got the 14 down there, so that shouldn't be too difficult to get on.
If he went for stripe, I think he should try and break that 13 off of the rail now.
I mean, I think solids are the play here, especially if that combo's on. If the 4-3 combos, if the 4-3 combos on, you definitely got to play solids here.
So it looks like you kind of shot for that combo, so it must be lined up.
Now here's one that you want to be a little touchy with this. You don't want to overcut this and get that. That was a nice shot. He brought it out towards the middle of the table, the 4-ball.
Played it very well.
I think that's what he's going to shoot next.
Shoot the combo, the 6-7 combo, or shoot
the 4-ball? No, I think he's going to shoot the 4, but that's a little dangerous. He's coming down into all these balls here, so he's got to be a little careful here. You can see this one better than me. Is he on this too? I think so. He's right down on it.
I think he can just shoot it and hit that 14 and stop him.
See, that was a little sloppy there.
So that's that quick shot that we were talking about.
That's that quick shot.
I would have tried to get that one out of there.
Yep, he just needed to take his time a little more and roll forward into that 14 ball. He rushed that a little bit.
Do we need to zoom in on that camera? Because that's a way different view.
I think you got to try and swerve this in, because I mean you're probably not going to get better than this, you know, off
and
that
the 7's
7 ball.
In the pocket. All you do is make this ball. Just make this ball. Oh, he overcut it.
You put a little too much on that. It's easy to do. I mean the key ball here is this 15 ball. He's got that 8's kind of in the way. He wants to get to that pretty quickly.
Kind of hinders some of his options.
Maybe off the 11, play the 10, 11, 15. He could even try and play for it now and come across. If he doesn't get on it, he still has the 9 ball.
Looks like that's the option he's going to do. Play that 10 in the side. Go to the end rail. Oh.
Well, he went between them. That was gutsy.
So I know it's not ideal shape, but
no, it's
I kind of feel like he has to
it's
shoot
fine.
that right
now.
now.
You have to shoot it now, and you're hitting it thin. You're either gonna be on the 12 or the 9 here. You know, just make sure you don't scratch. Well, unforced error there from Bryan. Sends Nick back to the table. Definitely got to shoot the 1 here first.
Nick definitely needs to put a W on the board, especially with that mistake. You need to
I don't
make
know
your
about
opponent.
this, Andy.
Looks like he hit it pretty good.
Yeah.
Little bounce. So we just had a couple of the Phoenix contingent players walk in a couple minutes ago.
Oh, nice.
We got Joey Barrera and Nicholas De Leon
Oh, wow.
up here at Barefoot Bob's Billiards.
That's awesome. They're hitting balls there on table 8, I see. Well, he's going to probably let the cue ball go a little bit here. It's pretty thin on this ball. Oh, he was able to throw it in like that. It's a nice shot.
Very nice shot.
And Nick usually doesn't struggle at all with these cuts. He cuts the ball really well. Those young eyes.
They definitely help when you're going for those razor thin shots. Oh, he's. Well, he did not leave an automatic out here.
I think I put the jinx on him there.
I think Bryan played that just in case he missed it. Went for the tougher shot on that.
Oh, absolutely. He's kind of undercuts that a little bit, but he's fine.
Little lack of focus on that one. And
Yeah, he can
let
shoot
that
the
cue ball get
11.
away.
You know, I don't even mind casing the 14 here. You know, it's just so much easier to get on the 15 right now and then just case the 14 and come around the table. You know, a lot of people are so worried about casing this ball because it's close to the 8 ball, but it's so far down by the cushion. I much rather case the 14 here. Just come around the table.
You had a small angle window to hold that ball
Yeah,
from the 15 to get to the 8.
Yeah, he's fine. He can just come one cushion here with some top English.
So on a shot like that, do you aim for a specific spot you're trying to get the cue ball, or you're trying to get the cue ball past a certain spot on the table?
On that shot, I'm really concentrating on the line that I come off that back rail. I really want to come off straight. You know, I don't want to flirt with the other corner pocket, and I don't want to come towards the center of the table either. And I know if I'm on that line, I can miss that shot by 4 feet and still have a good cut at the ball.
Still be
You know
able
what I
to
mean? I'm really
have a shot
focused
on it.
on the line that my cue ball comes off there. Well, Bryan's doubled up here at 10-5. Nick's got to start
Yeah, he's going to
taking
have
some games here.
stringing a couple back his direction.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I've noticed even since I've been here, it seems like Nick has got the table when there's all the solids, all the stripes. He's trying to run out with balls in his way. He doesn't get out, and Bryan's kind of cleaning up, And
I was commenting earlier that we haven't seen any safeties yet on these two, and I know in Bryan's style of play, I was really expecting to see more safeties. But with Nick being more of an aggressive player.
Yeah. One thing I have noticed, though, the balls seem to be blowing apart really well in the break. They're both making balls. A lot of times when you get into these safety battles, because there's balls tied up or, there's just not a good way to run the table. But most of these tables seem runnable, so you're not going to see a lot of safety in that case.
Yeah, there's been only one or two groups of balls that have been tied up, and there's been a breakout ball to manipulate that rack. Majority of them I've seen as well.
One thing I noticed there, I've never really noticed Nick, but it seemed like he was holding his cue too far forward there. He didn't allow himself to kind of stroke through the ball.
Kind of hit it into his body.
It kind of came into his body. If you look here, see how choked up on the cue he was there?
Whereas Bryan's style, he kind of stands way away to keep that hand away from his body.
And where that really affects you is that slow roll like he hit when your hand's too far forward.
You have a tendency to steer the ball.
And you swerve it a little bit too. A lot of times that ball will swerve on you. Oh, it got a little steep here, so. He's going to play the 6 here, just come up and back. Bryan's smiling away. I think I know why.
Yeah.
So Nick's got this 14-13 to deal with. That doesn't look too bad. Play the combination here. One thing you got to watch here, you don't want this 14 to end up on that same cushion as the 6 ball.
Just kind of control that option.
Yeah, you want to control this 14 ball. And it ends up fine. You stroke that ball nice and aggressive. So he narrows it to 10-6 here. Bryan's break. How's Bryan been breaking this match? Pretty well?
Samzu's been doing really well. He's had a couple where he squatted the cue ball in the middle of the table. I think he's made the 8 ball on one of his breaks. Okay. And then he's had one errant break where he scratched in the side. Yeah,
I know Nick's got a big break. Bryan's got a pretty good control break. You know, he usually makes a ball and controls Whitey pretty well. So. So, I mean, the first thing you see here is this, I believe it's the 10 ball up, wedged up against the 8 ball. The 13 is a little funny.
Well, if it went, it looks like the 7's in the way of the pocket from it, so he might have to come around to get that in the side.
Mm-hmm. And if you shoot solids, you got to worry about this 6 ball.
So what do you think? Just shoot that 11 and roll up for the 9, shoot the 10 in the side?
Yeah, he's got the angle for that for sure. The 14 here. I think he's wanting to get on this 13 pretty quick. Well, maybe he is going to shoot the 9 here. Yes, he is.
So I would think he'd want to maybe splash that with that shot. And he did. Very nice shot.
Oh, that was fine.
Now, I mean,
if that 13's easier now.
looks like we got most of our viewers back. We shared
Oh,
it out
good.
to the Prescott Billiard Association page.
Who did you feel was the favorite coming into this, Andy? I kind of felt that Bryan, coming off of that tournament win last week, I pictured he'd come in with some confidence, and
I kind of felt the same about that, but my prediction was whoever won the first rack, the first person to get the jitters down, playing on the stream,
right.
For this first Billiard Battles match. To me, both the player styles of play are completely different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Bryan has a more conservative, thought-out
more
process,
methodical,
where Nick
yeah.
likes to just gun him and shoot. I mean, he still plays very smart, but Nick would rather shoot.
Right.
And I honestly think if they played this match again tomorrow, we could see it swing the other way.
Right.
Very, very easily. But
I'll tell you,
my prediction was that Bryan would probably end up on top.
And I'll tell you, when you mention this fast-paced versus slow-paced thing, you see that all the time in pool, and it seems like, the slow-paced guy gets ahead, the fast-paced guy has a really hard time. But on the other hand, if the fast-paced guy gets ahead, you can just kind of run him over, and it's really hard to fade that.
Well, he shot that pretty darn good.
No, he hit that well. He's got a thin cut here. I don't think he can hold the cue
He's
ball.
just going to have to go there and back.
I can't tell if it goes in this other corner. I don't think it does.
Kind of have to read that.
Yeah. It seems all right over this. So. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's kind of a bit of a back cut, but you'd much rather shoot this up 10-6 than down 10-6. Oh, I guess it goes in this other
clean,
corner
he's gonna
between
take it
the
off the
3-7. Yeah. Yep,
Clean
there
it
goes.
is. Very nice shot, Mr. Wilson.
So with that, Bryan takes an 11-6 lead. A race to 15. See if Nick can put a little heat on here with a break and run.
Yeah, just to keep a little pressure, just to know that he still has a pulse here.
Absolutely.
What's this? Hush hush bullshit?
Oh, he absolutely sticks the cue ball and it gets kicked back
It was a really good break too.
with nothing down.
Kind of tough when you're struggling right here to get out, and then you have a great break and
Right.
just kind of leave it for your opponent to start.
Yeah. It's a
Connecting the dots.
big rack here for Bryan. You get this rack, pull ahead 12-6, you're feeling
No, you know what? I played a few games there lately, and I'm doing pretty good. Not bad.
Well, this is a little touchy to get on this 9 ball here with the 8 ball hanging in the side.
Yeah, that definitely makes you think a little bit.
Pretty good player. I'm not as good as it was, but I'm actually a pretty good player.
Hit that well. Very nice.
Stroked that very, very well.
Bryan has great mechanics, and when you're in situations like this, you can lean on that a lot, and it's going to help you quite a bit.
Kind of surprised he's not trying to get that 9 out of jail right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I would have shoot the 9 here for sure. He's pretty straight here, so he can't really, he can leave himself a pretty big cut on the 9. And if he comes forward, that 4 ball's got him kind of pinned on this 10 ball. He's going to have to come to the center of the table or rail. He chose to play shape on the 9 here, which I think is the right shot. Yeah. And just come one cushion across.
Thank you for the accolades, Peggy.
Thanks, Peggy. Well, that's a smart choice there, just coming out to the middle of the table.
I know sometimes I have trouble trying to slow this ball down, and there's so much traffic down table, you could end up on the wrong side of the 8.
These diamonds are pretty quick, especially this one. Plays a little quicker than the one behind us.
I think he got it by about half a roll.
Yeah, he's looking at it. Oh, that was really close to the rail there.
Definitely a tough shot.
Crowd goes wild. And the crowd goes
So if you're Nick, I think you have to just concentrate on making one ball at a time and get out on this rack.
Yeah, you really got to focus. You got to, check that aim a few times. Just make sure you're right on the ball and smooth balls.
That's what I think. I mean, all the balls are out in the open. There's nothing he's really going to do. But he just has to pocket the balls.
Yep. So, his only concern here is the 1 ball. And he's just got to get, shoot it down in one of the corners.
I think those 3 balls down on the bottom, any one of those could lead him to the correct side of the 1.
I'll just probably stun out here for the 5 ball next. This is a little tricky, this ball. You make this, but your cue ball's coming up table.
Yeah, I think probably just play shape for the 2 on this one.
2 or the 3.
Alright, I'll let you go.
Yeah, he just ended up a little thin on that ball. And
yep.
Both, the balls that both these players are missing, they're trying to hold the cue ball and they're just undercutting the ball. It happens. This is a really quick table, even quick for diamond standards. It's just a quick table. I've been practicing a little bit with Nick this week on it, and it's a quick table.
Well, I noticed they're also using that measle cue ball. And to me, that ball plays a little bit heavier, and
so
tends to travel further
roll forward a little bit more than
the normal red circle that I'm used to playing with. And so I don't think Bryan plays with that ball very exclusively with the measle ball, so it's kind of weird he's having trouble with that adjustment.
Yeah, they're taking a little break here.
Players are going to take a little hiatus. Hey, Preacher, we see you out there. I don't know if you heard earlier, but we got a couple of Phoenix players here in town. If you want to come on down to the pool hall, we got Joey Barrera and Nicholas De Leon. See if they might find a 1-pocket match for you.
So we got the score here at 12-6. Bryan only needs 3.
Yeah,
Nick
really
needs
puts
9.
him kind of in a comfortable, very comfortable position.
I mean, Nick's got to win 9-2 here. That's hill. That's a
tough
mountain to
road.
climb.
That is a tough road. So they're playing
Let's see if
just
we
a
can-
little bit over 2 hours for their first break, and we've got 18 games played, so they're actually playing at a pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good
pace.
clip.
I mean, it's 135 minutes we've been playing.
I think that goes back to, both these guys are breaking pretty well, and the balls are pretty spread. We haven't had any really safety battles in this so far. So when that happens, these games are going to go by pretty quick. And both players play at a pretty good. Bryan's a little slower, but he's not super slow.
Bryan's pace has actually been a little bit quicker than I've been seeing. I think in
Yeah,
the last year.
and I think that's good for
in
him.
the last year, playing some different team events and stuff, his pace of play has actually picked up.
No, I think that's good for him. I think sometimes when he struggles a little bit, he gets in his own head a little bit when he's down on the balls. Sometimes he'll stay down on the balls so long that he overthinks things, But nothing to fault him about here tonight. He's playing really well.
Yeah, so he's up 12-6 and breaking. Let's see if he can lay down another good break.
Pumpkin.
I think that's for tonight.
Andy, you want to relay a message? Yeah, good. Nick will be like, you want to play one. I think Andy's going to go over and relay your message here, Ron.
As soon as I said something. I know. They're going back and break his legs. No.
Hey, Jay. Hey, Jay.
So we got Nick at the table here.
Bryan's winning 12-6. Are you here to play pool?
Kind of tell he doesn't really like any of these here.
I'm actually here to see the match.
He's got the 413 tied up.
Hey, it can go either way.
It's easier to get to it from stripes, but he's going to shoot solids. He left himself here kind of funny. Can't tell if he can see the 7 ball. If he can, that's probably the shot. And once again, Bryan comes to the table. Everything's spread out pretty well. Looks like the 9 ball goes in the side. He'll probably start with his 14 and move his way to the 9 ball here fairly soon. Has a lot of options here. He did get to this 9 ball right away, which is a good thing. We got Andy back.
All right, where are we at here?
Well, Nick broke, made a ball, chose solids, made a ball, and left himself a little tough on the 7 and tried to fire it in and missed and left Bryan some open stripes here. So he's just trying to clean these up to take a commanding lead. I don't see any troubles here. Well, he overstroked that a little, I think, but I think he's okay to play this on the side. It's just kind of might be a little tough to get on this.
So do you just kind of really soft hit this and take up with, or do you think he ought to?
Boy, it's just hard to tell from this angle if he can
try and backspin it around and go 3 rails to get shape. Oh, he's going with a lot of inside.
So he's hitting it slow. Oh yeah, that was fine.
So
that's just tough to see the angles, you know.
Kind of a slip stroke on that one.
Yeah, he came across a little too far, but shouldn't be a problem. Smooth that ball in nice.
Sounds good.
Sorry again, guys. Try to think skinnier than I am.
Kind of wind it down here. See if Nick can put a good little crunch on those, but yet again, no balls fell.
He's breaking kind of dry here. Might have got away with it.
I think there's definitely not a cherry.
No, for sure.
We might see our first safety game.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, you know.
How's it going, Milty?
Hey, Milty. So yeah, we got this, 3-13-8 situation down here that isn't the best, and the 1-14, this cluster of 4 balls isn't the best. So yeah, we could definitely see some safety play here.
So I know when I'm faced in a situation like this where I don't have an opening shot, I kind of want to leave the ball to where my opponent doesn't have an opening shot.
Now, sometimes I believe that's correct, but in other times, if, let's just say that solids were a real favorite here. I'm not saying they are here, but if they were, then I might even try and duck and leave my opponent an easy shot on a stripe to try and get them to take
trick them into taking
the bad balls.
That suit.
You know. But in this situation, it's kind of an even Steven thing. So, and what if I see this rack, I'm thinking that both players are going to have a hard time getting out here. So I'm not super worried about playing a jam up safety here.
Right. I feel like the stripes are just barely favored because the way the 1 is covered, the 4 is covered.
Yeah, and even if the 10 ball's in a
And the
little
3
bit of
is
trouble,
covered.
the 13 is close to it. You can use to get that 3 out of the way. There's no solid really close to that cluster, so he's going to kick this 9 ball, kicking at the 9, I believe. I don't mind that shot.
I want in.
You're coming in? All right.
Come back in 3 to 5. Oh, you're not leaving. Stay there. Sorry. All right, Eric.
Hi, Penny. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so where are we at? Catch me up. I was away.
Well,
I was socializing like a butterfly.
while you were gone, Bryan has really taken command of this match. He's playing really well. Nick seems a little frustrated, and he's rushing things a little bit. But
So you say he's watching his P's and Q's?
no, I would put it more towards Bryan. Bryan's played really well tonight. He's missed a few shots that where he's been trying to hold the cue ball. And that happens on this table. It's really quick, but for the most part, he's played really well. He's definitely outplayed Nick so far tonight.
Interesting.
And,
okay.
and it's not a case
right,
of
like
just
a jab
Nick
or-
playing
right, I
super
get it.
bad. Bryan's just played really well
Just
so
tonight.
far tonight. Yeah.
Because they started off kind of equal.
Yep, he's playing the 7 ball here. He's going to kick one cushion
Ooh,
at
look
it.
at this.
And he's got 2
Super
cushions,
high
too.
bridge.
You might want to move this bridge a
Oh
little
my
closer to
gosh.
this 11
I was
ball.
going to say, can you get any closer?
Covered it.
Do you
That's
know
still a
how
good
hard
hit,
that is
'cause
to
the
do with
table's
that
open,
bridge?
so.
That is like
Yeah,
wielding.
you want to try with that when you're jacked up over a ball on that bridge is to go ahead and set the bridge down, and then you can walk over to the side and see how close your bridge head is to the 11, and then you can move it forward instead of
okay.
trying to judge that from behind the bridge.
Great idea.
You
Thank
put the bridge down and set it down and walk over to
Okay.
the side.
That makes total sense. Total.
Because, it makes a big difference. If he would have slid that bridge maybe a half inch closer to that 11 ball, that would have been a much easier
Closer?
shot for him. Yes.
It seemed like it
he was
was-
about an inch away from this 11. If he slid it up this close, he would have been
So-
a much easier shot.
So what do you say for guppies in trying to use the bridge to learn it? Like, what would be the practicing methods? Like,
Well,
just
it's just kind of getting out there and using it.
And using it?
And
Okay.
trying to deliver the cue straight. There's certain times where you have to kind of jack up and kind of use a dart method, or other times where you can even kind of use your stroke as a stroking method. But it's just a lot of practice in delivering that cue straight.
do you like to put once you find the place for the bridge, to not touch it, to put it on the table and not touch it and only use your
well, no,
your
I
cue
I
hand?
definitely like to have my hand on it, because a lot of times you have to pull it away quickly.
Right, quickly, correct.
Where another ball's going to come and hit your bridge head. So you definitely need your hand on it.
All right.
But in that situation beforehand, he definitely should have checked his bridge head, and then he could have seen he could have slid it closer to that object ball.
How about bridge versus? Ooh, that was close.
That's
too.
a beautiful bank there.
Very,
from Nick.
and off of the 9.
Yep.
What about a bridge versus an extender? Do you have a preference?
I'm kind of old school. I've never even tried an extended cue, and I would probably like
They're
it.
handy dandy,
I'd probably
by the way.
like it a lot, because I don't mind having a super long bridge.
Right.
So
Okay. Cool.
I'm kind of old
I
school.
prefer that.
I can play a little bit left-handed. I can play a little with the bridge. So
Well, from an age perspective, I'm quote unquote, I'm using air quotes, people, old school also. And yeah, the least number of moving parts is the better for me. So.
No, absolutely. And as long as you can control that bridge head, that's a pretty stable bridge. So
cool.
I would recommend for people to practice with that and get used to it.
And really, that's what the key is about, right? Like, just
Absolutely.
repetitive over and over and over.
And then when you move to these 9-foot tables, you're going to be using it a lot more.
Right.
So
right. Oh, yes.
it's an important thing to.
Oh, Lynette is
learn
stretching
how to
out.
use.
She's got her second stool for her Tootsies now. So, Tushy and Tootsies. Footsies. So we've got a pretty full house here at Bob's, to be honest with you. There's a lot of activity on the 9-foots. We've got the tournament going on the valley side of the house.
We got a couple guys from
Linda
Phoenix
Gaines
here looking for a little action.
Yeah,
so.
and we got some people from Phoenix that drove up. So if you're looking for some action, get your booty down here if you're not here already. Because there's somebody for you, I'm sure. Nice.
So this is a tough shot here. I don't know.
Why is that?
I don't think he's got enough of this 10 ball to cut it in the corner, in the back corner here. He might have to try and cut it across here in this left corner pocket.
And there's a possibility of hitting the 3 or no?
Well, to cut it in the right pocket. Cut it in the right pocket, I think the 3 is in the way. So I think he's going to have to back cut this into the left.
When you say
corner
back cut,
pocket.
what does that mean?
That just means kind of a severe cut.
Okay.
More severe. Oh, he was able to hit that in, but I think he got away with it.
That was a nice shot. So just out of curiosity, not that that was right or wrong, but would you call for a spotter on something like that at this level of play?
Yeah, you certainly can. That's up to Bryan. If Bryan feels that that's going to be a close hit, that's up to him to call a spotter over.
Does that happen very often in this level?
It can, and I think it happens. Well, controversies happen more at the lower levels, because when you get to these higher levels, you can kind of see how the ball reacted and tell that it was a good hit,
Right, but people like myself, which I call a guppy,
you're just not experienced
they
enough
both moved at the same time,
see what that shot is supposed to do.
Brian's got a shot here now, right?
Yeah, he's wide open here. He gets
a turn, as I call it. I get a turn.
Well, that might have been Nick's last turn here if he runs this out and breaks and runs. So that'll be the end of this.
That's what he's planning on, correct?
But
so we will be getting our third headset, by the way, and we will have the ability to have a lot of us chiming in at the same time. I think everybody can hear him talking right now. Andy is chiming in on my mouthpiece. On my headphone. Sorry. No.
well,
Oh, we
Got light going on here.
glimmer of light.
the glimmer of light for Nick here.
Okay, so just help me as a guppy. Why would he do that? He's on the 8, so he.
Yeah, it's just simple.
That's
shot.
what I said.
And
As a guppy, I play that shit out because people have been known to miss
and
on a
that's
ball
fine.
in hand.
That's fine.
Absolutely.
But you all don't think so. And
There are some times where a person they want to get that bad juju of that game. They want to just have it over with because it's a clearing mechanism for a fresh game. So that has to be done with it.
I can totally understand that.
While that person inevitably shoots that ball in hand.
So could you please? She's gonna run to Amazon.com and why don't you get 4?
There's no way to hook up for it, I don't think.
Oh, we'll piggyback that crap like nobody's business.
Time to time, I've noticed some players that they tend to give that out and they'll just say, hey, the game is good, you don't have to shoot that money ball.
Right.
And then there'll be sometimes where they make you shoot that money ball and it's just somebody trying to get into it.
Okay. Oh, I heard clunkety clunk, which means we got one in the. technical term, by the way, in case you're wondering.
I thought you were talking about my truck driving down the road.
It's the first time I've heard clunkety clunk. But
Oh, you'll hear a lot of new things.
There's a first time
Eric.
for everything.
You'll hear a lot of new things with
the first time for everything.
You have a clip, you know.
Yep.
Let's clip you up.
Well, so Nick has ball in hand here. He's got a little bit of difficulty on the 4-6.
Oh, not into your face.
The 14's the only, well, the 14-10's a little difficult for stripes, but
He will strangle me if that happens.
Now, can you guys explain what just happened?
Yeah, you want some?
So Bryan came and hit him.
Oh, Andy's judging my pizza. All right.
It's covered in olives.
It's a cheese pizza that is well done. It's well done.
I heard you like it well done, though.
Yes. That's all I'm going to say to you, Lynette, is yes.
well, he left himself on the cushion here. That always makes it a little harder.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. What? You thought he should have hit it a little harder?
Well, no, he left himself on the cushion, which makes things a little harder.
Gotcha.
But he was able to fight through that fine.
So are you going to get on this action, Eric, and call somebody out, or what are you thinking for the next few weeks?
Yeah, we'll see. I have a few things in mind, but we'll
Got
see.
a few ideas cooking?
We'll see what happens here.
Gonna maybe do like Jack and Jill, or like
I have
just
no
singles?
I have no idea.
Wow, you are close to the vest.
Yeah, just
all right,
I gotta,
all right,
I
fine.
gotta keep it tight to the vest a little bit for a little while and see what happens. So.
All right. So stop shot and then a corner shot.
Yep.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. A little hesitation, but he said.
That was a good reset there from him. So.
All right, 13-8.
Now at this point in the match, you know, you're down this many games at 13-8. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nick play pretty well here for a little bit. He might feel a little resigned that the outcome's already decided, and a lot of times when that happens, you kind of loosen up and just start playing a little freer and looser, and we'll see if he hits the balls a little better here the next few racks.
This is kind of a little late in the game, though, to be getting relaxed, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, you hate to get behind to relax. You'd much rather be relaxed at the beginning.
Right.
That does happen quite a bit, though.
Andy and I were talking about how you come out of the gate and they shoot quickly and, you know, kind of aggressively, and then as the night goes on, it gets a little more tighter on the strategy. And
Right, absolutely. And, you know, you might want us to look at that from Bryan's perspective, too. If he gets back to the table, if Nick can put a couple together here and he gets back to the table, he might be the one that tightens up because Nick's closed that gap. You know, right now he's still ahead 5 games. I'm sure he feels fine right now.
That's pretty right. Isn't that pretty solid?
It's
lead.
It's a pretty big lead right here. Absolutely.
I think so. I've never been in that position.
Yeah, and like I said, he's feeling good right now. But if Nick can win the next couple games, then it gets a little tighter. 13-8, 13-10. That's a little different scenario. Okay. So.
What are you saying, Andy?
I said Nick has a very good chance to run out on this rack as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got to pull back a little bit here. He doesn't want to get too straight on this 13. And that's fine. You know, he's got himself an angle to come down table and get a good clear shot at the 9 here.
I like him taking his time on the shot here.
Yeah, it was a good reset there.
Get his body set before pulling the trigger.
He still looks a little rushed to me, though. Is he not playing quickly to you, or is that his normal pace?
No, this is about his pace.
Okay. Not that I'm calling him out or anything.
Yeah, Nick plays a little quicker than Bryan for sure. And
Wow, so we're done. Okay.
Yep.
When I grow up, that's what I want to do.
7-game lead to a 4-game lead in the matter of about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
4 minutes. We went from the 7-game lead, 4-game lead to a 7-game lead. So that's the theory behind.
And there's
Game over till it's
there's
over.
definitely no quitting Nick. You know, he's one that's going to play to the very end. You know,
Right.
there's no doubt about that.
There's some saying, and you got heart, right?
Absolutely, and he's got a bunch of it.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to, again, go to the potty and maybe go catch a game.
All right.
I'll be right back. I'll let you two take over.
Just gonna use it like a microphone because I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Nice break here by Bryan.
2 balls down.
Yep, he's got his choice. Well, I like solids here, just because of this two ball.
2-12.
Yeah,
Just because the 2 has the lead
yeah.
position.
I mean,
closer to the hole.
yeah. I mean, right away I'm seeing solids here for sure.
No, I did have my jalapeno
I was talking to Penny earlier and told her that, you know, when Nick was behind, what was it, 13-5, I believe, or 13-6, that, you know, maybe in his head he might feel a little resigned in this match and it might actually kind of loosen him up a little bit. And it kind of seemed to be the case there. These last few racks, he seemed a lot looser and calmer. So,
Yeah, he was just flowing. The balls were hitting right in the center of the pocket too.
but this is a big opportunity for Bryan here to kind of drive another nail in.
Keep that pressure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A little bit loose on the position on that first shot. Now he's really got to come with something now
Can't hear you.
to keep shooting.
Walk in the mic.
I'm leaning away from it too far.
It's like don't eat the microphone.
We just need to make it.
Yeah, he's got the 5 ball
Or
here.
something.
And this is one you got to stroke a little bit. Well, it looks like he's going forward here. I'm a little bit surprised with that.
Is he going to shoot the 3 ball or the 5 ball?
I think he's got to shoot the 5 here, but I think you just want to come across to the side rail and play shape on the 6. And if you come too far, you're on the 3, but he's going to cut the 2 here.
Going for the 2.
Yeah, a little thick. Well, which 15 is Nick going to
Well,
shoot
Nick
here,
has
right?
a really tough shot on the 15 ball.
That's his only shot, so that's what he'll be shooting.
Could bank that 12, but I just he maybe get away with a miss.
He might even, yeah, he's gonna try to bank this now. I don't know. It's kind of an all or nothing shot here, yeah. Oh, he made it. He smoothed that in. A bad luck there. That 11, that 7 blocked the 11, yeah.
Definitely a very confident stroke of those last 2 shots.
Yeah, the last few racks, he's looked much calmer, much more confident. And it's nothing, it's nothing that Bryan's done that's led him back in here. Nick has just taken full advantage of his opportunities here. So.
Doesn't look like anything's too tied up for him right now. I think
Yeah, the 4 ball, if it passes between the 8-7, which he's checking right now, that's kind of his only concern here. If it passes through, that should be a pretty easy run here. He got a little straight on the 6 ball. It's kind of fun. He got a little straight on the 6, and he's got a little too much angle on the 4. So, you kind of pick your poison here.
He'll probably play for the 6 ball, come off the rail,
punch
come back,
out.
shoot the
He's
5.
got to kind of punch this ball a little bit. See, but I think he should have. But it's fine. He's on the 5.
And then probably play the 7 in the corner, 4 in the side.
Yeah, I like that. Smooth rolling shot here. You don't have to do anything here.
Oh, it
See
came out
that?
he could play the
See
4
that?
now.
That's a little bit of the difference between Bryan and Nick. Bryan's really comfortable with rolling the ball, and it's kind of just smooth and rolling. And on these really quick 7-foot tables, that's an important shot to have.
So do you think that's because Bryan's played a lot more bar box pool and Nick has probably played a lot more on the 9-foot table?
Yeah, I think Nick is used to really manipulating the cue ball and making it travel and a lot of that is youth too. He's a young and upcoming, an excellent player. He already is a good player, and as you get older, you realize you're likely to make that shot with a rolling shot than punching it in, and using that punch stroke to follow it 6 inches or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially on this equipment,
Looks like Bryan climbed to the hill first. So I think we got a incoming Billiard Battles Challenge matcher wants to take a couple of minutes here.
All right.
Or not.
False alarm on that. We're at hill 9 here. Nick needs to run to get 6.
And the
I've seen funnier things happen.
In the alternate break format, though, I think that really
That's
makes
tough.
this a much steeper road.
Absolutely.
He really went to town on that one.
Oh boy, he's come up dry in a few breaks too tonight, and that's cost him because he definitely spreads the balls when he breaks.
Those balls are definitely opened up.
So Bob Farrell will be having a video produced by tomorrow afternoon, he promised me, because he was unavailable to speak right now. So he's going to have a response for Sean Brooks, you, Sean. He's coming for you, and he's going to have a video.
Well, Bryan at the table here. He's on the hill. See if he can close it out.
Table to try and get shape on that 7-2 right now.
Either that, or he could even draw. He could draw back about 1.5 to 2 feet and maybe play the 5 in the corner. But I can't tell if it goes past the 11. If it does, that might be kind of his game-winning shot. That 5 seems a little suspect to me. He's going forward here. I think he's got the 7. Yeah, attack the 7. Well, the key ball here is definitely the 5 ball. He's trying to figure out how to get on that. And he just got on it. He'd like to be a little straighter, so he might not shoot it here.
Yeah, that 13, it's amazing how big that 13 actually is right now.
Oh yeah, that's a big nuisance to him right now. But I think he's going to go 2-3. Come forward a little bit, play the 5 in the corner and the 8 in the side. Leaves himself a bit of a tester on the 5, but it'll be kind of natural shape for the 8. So just stun up a little bit. Just stun up a little bit. And that's fine, you know, you just
simplify the game.
Just simplify the game. You know, now you're just rolling this ball in. You know, you don't have to stun it or punch it or spin it. Just roll this ball in. I think there we go. There we have it. 8 in the side for the win.
Looks like the match.
Yep. We have it.
There it is. The first Billiard Battles is in the books.
Yep. Bryan Wilson with the 15-9 victory. Yeah, I definitely think Bryan had the better of that. You know, he seemed pretty calm, pretty focused, pretty happy.
He said he was able to get the.
Even though he got sharked a couple times, you know, by his own crew. You know, that happens sometimes, but he was able to battle through.
Yeah.
Now what?
All right, Andy, I'm gonna check out, buddy.
I think this is going to conclude our portion of the
Yeah,
video.
absolutely.
Thank you.
We want to hear a few words
Hey,
from the
is
winner.
it done?
Now, why don't you come on?
Winner here, Bryan.
Put the microphone in the beer.
Hey, you know, we talked during the match as you guys were playing. I definitely felt you were really focused. You seemed really calm at the table. We kind of attributed that to your success last week at the ACS. You know, you had a big tournament win there, and you just seemed really confident and focused tonight. So,
Yeah, I mean, Nick is he's a really good player. So, you know, I made some mistakes, and I got lucky to get back to the table, and it really helped out. Trying to stay down, trying to stay calm, like you said, you know, and that's such a big part of it. Because
no, absolutely. It seemed that you did make a few mistakes. You undercut a few balls, or you're trying to hold the cue ball. That happens. You both did that, but
Yeah.
it seemed like you didn't let it compound tonight. You just,
Yep.
you realized you made an error and just kind of let it go.
Yep. Every shot's a new shot. Every time at the table's a new opportunity, and that's. I mean, I've had to build my mind not to hold on to things and just let it go.
Right.
Move on down the road.
That's a huge part of the game, and I think that was a big deciding factor tonight. Between that, I think Nick broke the balls well, but came up dry a few times and left the tables pretty open.
Yeah, very well.
But no, I think you both played well. It was a good battle. So
no, and you know what? I think it was great. We had a lot of people come in and stream, and do commentating. I appreciate you, Eric.
No,
Andy,
absolutely.
Everybody else, and I hope we take advantage of this across the board. We've got the match coming up next week with Bob.
Yeah, right. Bob
and
Farrell and
Sean
Sean
Brooks.
Brooks, correct. Yes. So
Mr. Poole. I don't know, whatever you want to call Sean.
Right,
the wrestler.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely fired up for it. If you guys haven't seen the video, go check that out on Prescott Pool. It's pretty funny.
And then Kimball tonight. I don't know if you got to see it, but Kimball
I did
put
see
one
that
out.
He put one out for Johnny, so that should be good
Yeah, it was
too.
great.
So.
It was great. Kimball, Johnny, can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah.
We'll have to schedule the night for it, and
Absolutely.
Let's get more people involved. We had a bunch. We had about 20 people watching, and I don't know how many we had on the stream, but hopefully we'll get more and bigger, and we'll do better.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good time, good first run tonight, and we'll see you all next week.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you. We're checking out. Have a good one.